Hi Shachar,
Hi,
what's up?
live and kicking.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, about Kandu, but how you got into Kandu.
Well, I've been working with wood for many, many years, playing bass from the age of 14. And so at some point I've decided to try and combine those two passions together, and I started building bass guitars. I thought, why would I go and buy when I can actually build one?
You're one of these.
Huh?
You're one of those.
One of those.
You're one of those
No, I really tried to learn. I went to very good music school to learn, and I ran away after a week, so I guess I'm one of those also.
Why'd you run away?
I couldn't sit on my butt and study that way.
I see.
You have to experiment. I can't do it academically.
I see. And I can attest you make beautiful and great sounding bass
Ah,
guitars.
Thank you.
Very unique looking.
Still up to this day, I'm making them, custom order, at least at this point. And so Kandu was born also from, the passion of making musical instruments. Only I didn't know what a cajon was, and I never thought I would, for the last 7 years, build drums. What happened is that somebody that I started to play with in their ensemble was not happy with their cajon, and so they asked me maybe I can make them one. And so I started experimenting with building cajons. But because I never bothered actually to see what was the right way or the traditional way to make a cajon, they came out different in design and obviously, which is more important, in the design of the sound.
How different?
First of all, most cajon makers, now I know it, they use screws. And I don't like it. I don't like screws in general. And so I rather glue the tapa, the part that you play on.
Why don't you like screws?
Well, I guess because I'm a more traditional woodworker, and so everything I can do with wood, I rather do it with wood than do it with bolts and screws and stuff like that. Looks to me more homogenic, more everything together.
Any reason? Any acoustic reason?
Of course, because a cajon is actually like a sound box. But if you have screws, then some of the power you invest in making a hit is going out of here. And with our cajons, which are all glued, what happens is everything is very focused and come out from only one point, which we decided after many experiments, which is the best one for what we like. Another thing that matters a lot in the sound of the cajon is the thickness of the tapa that you play on, which the thicker it's going to be, the higher pitch you're going to get, and the thinner it's going to be, you get a lower pitch, which means very, very deep bass.
You like to experiment, right? You like the adventure. You like the challenges of new things, the challenging of getting to the real, to the
No,
exactly what you're looking for.
look, what happens with Kandu is what happens in my life, for example, which, as a musician, for example, it's very difficult for me to sit at my butt and study other people's music. I enjoy it, but it takes me a long time. But if I come and work with an ensemble about original music, this is where I really fly, because this is where my capabilities and new way of thinking, melodic maybe with the bass, comes out. And this is exactly what happens in Kandu. It's exactly the same thing. Kandu gave me the platform and the playground, and also the output of what my inner calling is, maybe, in a way, which is to creating somehow.
When you make an instrument, do you think customer? You think
In Kandu, what happens is it's always an answer to a need. This is what it is actually. And most of the time it started with a percussion player coming to us looking for a new sound or a new drum, and then we start to experiment with it until we come up with something. We never look outside what other people do. I've been in exhibitions abroad many times. I never tell the people in Kandu when I come back what I saw there, because I don't want it to influence our line of how we make things. For example, when you send a child to school, what you want the teacher to do is to help them fulfill their inner genius, like to take out from them, help them and promote them to be the best that they can. And if you tell the child or you teach them to look at other children and try to be like them, well, you're obviously doing the wrong thing. And this is exactly what is happening in Kandu. We don't look what other people do, because it interferes with our ability to promote from our insides what we think would be the right thing to do. And so somebody approached and they wanted a cajon that would be more like a drum set, meaning you have the bass and you have the drum, but with separation. So we started experimenting with that until we came up with a line of cajons that has full separation between the bass and the snare.
How do you come up with other instruments? You make other.
Again, it's answer to a need or to a call. Somebody came with a darbuka, for example, and wanted one from wood, so we started experimenting with that. I didn't go to the internet and Google and started to say darbuka from wood and see what comes and then try to imitate that. I can't stand it. I don't do that. We don't do that.
It's skinless, right? It's wooden.
Everything is made out of wood. I don't work with skin. Also with the basses, I don't use bone as a nut. I use wood, snake wood. So the ktak, for example, somebody approached us and they wanted a snare that would be very ethnic sounding. And so we built few snares like that, and with the mechanism of a snare, but they sounded exactly like a snare in a set. So we started to make it small and different thicknesses and all until we got to that ktak that some of you know. And we looked at it and it was great, but something was missing, and then we decided to add the straps. And the moment we added the straps, then we felt like, oh, we have something.
Eureka.
Eureka, sort of, yeah. We discovered the ktak really answer a need. Of course, when we started it, we didn't know this is what would happen. But we discovered that it answers some kind of a need that obviously was there. It's a small drum, you can take it everywhere, it's very intuitive, and then people started telling us, or we started getting orders with people who work with children with problems, for example, and music teachers, and people in kindergartens, and of course a lot of people who hike all kinds of places in the world. And we started to get pictures from the Burning Man, and pictures from the Dead Sea, and pictures from Canada, and pictures from Panama, and all kinds of places like that. And so the community started around that thing. It wasn't something that we planned. For example, I know that music therapists now start to use it because there's something about drumming on your stomach, on your belly, that creates some kind of a magnetic satisfaction also. It's like sends all those vibration into your body from your center core. And I didn't know that. I didn't build a drum for that, but wow, amazing. The standards that I at home with my wife and my children, for example, take something simple like composting everything green that is possible to compost instead of throwing it to the trash. It's the same standard in Kandu. Our roof is solar, so we throw very little, and we try all the time to eliminate that. And I think it's something probably everybody would want to do in their life.
Do you think that in any way shows in your drums?
Look, These are drums. We're a boutique, obviously. We're a small company. We're not manufacturing in China or on the moon with people we don't know. We are the ones who are building those drums. So every cajon, for example, from the thousands that we are coming out in the last few years from the workshop, each one of them we sit and we tune it to perfection as much as we can. And if it's not good enough, it's not coming out. It goes back into the circle until it's good. And if not, there is a place to put them. And I ignore them for many months until I take it again and try it again, or maybe I will take it apart completely. But we're human beings working on drums for human beings in order to make music, and so this is what it is actually. It's not made by machines. If you have one of our drums, you need to understand what's behind it. We are not a conglomerate. We're not business people in the manner that we were looking for a space to invest our money in to get a better income afterwards. Doesn't work that way. As I said, each drum is handmade completely. And when you have a Kandu drum, what you have is a little bit of the essence of me and Yaniv and Ro'i or Morris or the other Yaniv. We are human beings just like you. And continue the line. Handmade drums for people. We live in a very interesting times, which they feel are on the edge of a change. And I feel the change is up to us. The change is not outside of me. The change is inside of me. And I've been very fortunate so far to have a place like Kandu when I can play, and actually by doing these drums, what I'm doing is letting a line from inside of me come and play. And I wish for all of us to be able to do that, no matter if you're a lawyer, if you're a cab driver, if you're a furniture maker, if you're building houses, if you're a housewife, if you're a doctor. The important thing is that our own inner, how would I call it, spirit power in a way, will come out and play in the world. And it needs to be done in a way that is promotive to other people also, which meaning I will not do something that would stop somebody else. And this is also, by the way, part of Kandu all the time.
So you can definitely say that your inner spirit, that spirit that you're talking about, is coming out in the drums that you make.
I hope so. I hope so. It's not coming out so much when I do the taxis.
Well, it's coming out.
It's something is coming out.
Leaving.
Yes. But that's also a system that needs to change at some point.
Yeah. Well,
so it's people to people. This is what it is. Human to human.
Shachar, thank you very much. It was very interesting.
My pleasure.
And uplifting. And I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you.
In bringing that spirit out more, even more than you do. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.